And what a beautiful photo. You look gorgeous there. You
Thank
look
you.
gorgeous there too.
Thank
Hello,
you.
everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Moon Scarab channel. My name is Ramon, and welcome to another show of In Orbit With, a show in which we talk with people from our spiritual community about life, divination, and more. If you've been here before, well, if this is your first time, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome again. And I'm so excited to chat with my guest today, the amazing Rachele from the fantastic channel Ascension. I've been following your channel for a while. I love your content. Everybody in the community loves you, and it's an honor to have you here. Welcome, Rachele.
Thank you. That's very nice of you.
Yes.
I'm so
Yeah, yeah,
happy to
yeah.
be here.
Yeah, it was due. I mean, because I've been wanting to have you on my channel for a while and just talk about who you are. A lot of people follow you. Have like 35,000 followers. I was watching.
I know it's crazy.
I know, right?
Hmm.
And your content is amazing. The
Thank
quality
you.
of everything you do is fantastic. And that witchy room that you have right there is to die for. We all love it. And everybody, we're gonna have an exclusive tour of Rachele's room because everybody likes it. That's like our dream room, right?
I love to decorate.
Yes, that's awesome. And let's say hi to a few people here. There's a lot of people in chat, and they all came to see you. First one in is Ange from Roots
Hi,
and Waves.
Angie.
Hello, Ange. Thank you for being here. We have the beautiful Selena from Essence of the
Hi,
Moon.
honey.
She loves you. She's always talking about
I
you.
love her so much.
We have the beautiful Alexis. Hello, Lexi.
Alexa.
Great to see you. Thank you for being here. We have Mama Sushi. Hello, Mama Sushi. Thank you for
Hi.
watching. If this is your first time seeing Rachele, please follow her. The link to her channel is below in the description. So you can watch all the amazing content that she has. We had the amazing Miss Tarot D. She had to be
Hi,
here, of
Miss Tarot
course.
D.
Great to see you. We have Winds of Reflection. Thank you for being here. It's
Hi,
great to
Rodney.
see you. We have Joanne Miranda. Hello, Joanne. Thank you for
Hi,
being
Joanne.
here. Who else do we have? Let's scroll down. There's a lot of chat. Everybody's chatting. We have Indigo Jaguar, my friend
Hi,
Heather.
Heather.
Hello, Heather. Great to see you. Thank you for being here. Who else? Who else? Let's scroll. We have Carla, Miss
Hi,
Kulala, the
Chris.
amazing Carla. Great to see you, Carla. And I just learned recently that you're both sisters. You both look alike. Two beautiful, gorgeous ladies, and it totally
Thank
makes
you.
sense. Let's see who else. Who else do we have here? Everybody's chatting. Oh, we have Maruta. Hello, Maruta. Great to see you. Thank you for being here. And if I miss anyone, I apologize, but there's a 3 degrees of love divination. Thank you for being here. John Daly. Jonathan. Hello, Jonathan. Thank you for being here. We have Bill. Bill came to see
Hi,
you as
Bill.
well. Let's see. There's a lot of chatter. I just want to get started. So, Rachele, as I mentioned, you have this amazing channel, Ascension, and you share a lot of very high quality, beautiful, engaging content. Not only, tarot walkthroughs or walkthrough of different decks, but you also share content related to astrology, a lot of different esoteric topics, and for the people who watch you for the first time, who is Rachele? Tell us about Rachele, your channel, why the name of the channel, and what is that universe that you share with people through Amethyst Ascension.
Well, Amethyst Ascension actually started with Carla and myself. And did you see what she said? What
What did
Carla
she
said.
say? Let's
Thank you,
see.
Ramon.
You're
You are
easy.
easy on the eyes
This.
too.
Thank you.
um, And we wanted to start at the time, this was several years ago, a brick and mortar store
Mm-hmm.
for, divination and everything witchy, And so we thought of starting a YouTube first.
Uh-huh.
So Amethyst Ascension, we're like old school. So everything used to be when you're trying to name a business or something like that, you start in the A's,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because of the white pages and all that. So Amethyst
Mm.
Ascension came about.
Uh-huh.
So that's how it started. And then it just grew. Um,
Interesting.
I had just found tarot not long before that and had started doing unboxings of like mindful souls and witchy boxes and stuff like that. And then I discovered Tarot Tube and the rest is history. Really.
Yes, and that's a lot.
I have so much
And
on my channel too, like 12 over 1,200 videos. Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Yes. Amethyst Ascension. That's AA for the spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So be in the top
So
listings on white pages.
it makes sense. It makes sense. You'll be up there.
Mhm.
So Rochelle, how did your spiritual journey begin? Take us back there through that development of, your first. I mean, I think we all as humans, we have a contact with some type of contact with the spiritual world, either from personal experiences or we were brought up through in a religious household. There's a lot of different ways in which we enter in contact. But in your case, what was that development from, that initial exposure to who you are right now? How did it all begin?
Probably with some paranormal activity that happened
Mm-hmm.
when we were little, happened to my sister and I, and in the houses that we lived in. But I mean, my family is Christian. So there was always religion. However, my mom was not really, she didn't ever push religion or anything like that on us. But Carla and I did a lot of like Bible school and I did Bible camp. And so really it started off as a Christian for me. But the spiritual parts really started because of like experiences, ghostly experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, during How about throughout life? Were there like any instances that maybe heighten that perception of the spiritual world that maybe like was the catalyst to where you are right now?
Honestly, it was the earlier stuff to begin with. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the stuff that happened was very traumatic, but it also opened me up to like asking other questions, like, you
Mm-hmm.
know, what else is here? I know that there's more here than meets the eye, right? So
Mm-hmm.
then actually religion, reading the Bible, and then studying with the witnesses for a couple of years, the Jehovah's Witnesses, and they know their scripture, let me tell you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So studied with them for a couple of years, and it just always brought on more questions. So the more I learned about other things, as far as like even tarot, for the longest time, it wasn't that I was afraid to touch tarot. It was more that I thought that you had to be this certain kind of person to be able to read the tarot. It was so
Mm-hmm.
like elusive and like mysterious and so
Mm-hmm.
and I went with my grandma. I took her to a tarot reading and I ended up going. And my grandma was a tarot reader. I didn't know that. And she was a witch. I didn't know that for the longest time. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of where it started.
Huh.
That's
That's
kind of
interesting.
what's led me all along, just natural organic growth.
Mm-hmm. It's funny you mentioned Jehovah Witnesses. I was thinking about, it just came to me a memory when I was a child. I used to have a neighbor in Puerto Rico. She was a Jehovah Witness, and she used to give me their books with, like stories
Uh-huh.
of the Bible, and I always loved the illustrations. The artwork was always so fascinating, like so well done and so complex,
Oh, yeah.
and the way the book was edited, it was just fascinating. It's always like stay with me. I don't know why it come the images came to me today, and I was like, oh, because I'm doing a video. I'm preparing for a live that I'm having with Bobby and Selena on divination in the Bible. Instances of
Oh,
divination in biblical times, and that kind of like came to me. But yeah, you're right. And when you say that Jehovah Witnesses are they're very knowledgeable in terms of the scriptures, and not only knowledgeable, but they're really good at trying to explain their point of view. Like
oh
they're
yes.
very informed.
Absolutely. And their Bible is not like a translation from like the King James version or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Theirs came from the actual like Aramaic and Hebrew. So a lot of the translation is a lot different than what I originally grew up with, and that started it.
Mm-hmm.
But I seen a comment that Ange made, and she says, "Right, you don't have to be Sylvia Brown." That's another thing. I loved Sylvia Brown, and I read pretty much all of her books when I was, younger. And Montel Williams, watching her on Montel Williams. And actually, I got all the materials for her Novus Spiritus church and was
Mm-hmm.
reading through those and had like a little study group with a few girlfriends. And so that was a huge part of my spirituality also. And other books like Eckhart Tolle's A New Earth, learning about like the pain body and oh gosh, uh, just stuff like that. Not to mention, my mom used to read like uh, Bible stories to Carla and I when we were little, of the nice, like really graphic, like Jesus spread all across them and all that. And she would tell us, God is an alien, right? From the time we were really little. So I've always looked at God as an alien. And then, of course, you find out about the Sumerian tablets and King
Yes,
Enlil and ooh, yeah, and just all
I
kind of
total. I mean, I totally agree because if you think about it, how people in ancient times were able to explain modern technology. They
yeah,
can only reference it towards what they knew. That the
yeah,
stories that the people of Israel walking through the desert, and then like a
mm,
pillar of fire at night and a pillar of cloud at daytime. To me, it was just like alien uh, guardianship. The
yeah,
glory of God descending on a mountain with rumble and thunder. It's like if I bring my great grandmother to today's world, how is she able to explain the internet, right? Or
yeah,
being able to share a photo instantly on the other side of the world, and just the concept of the world, because with globalization the world has shrunken. So
yeah,
for her it will be nothing short of a miracle. So,
right.
but it's something that there's no point of reference that they could use to be able to relate to it.
I
So,
also wanted to be a
mhm,
archaeologist when I was a kid,
you were,
and I wanted to be. That was one of the things that
uh-huh,
I really wanted to be. That and an architect. That's where like
mm,
you know, that comes into play, the designing and stuff. But that really made me think of like Egypt and ancient cultures and learning about
mhm,
like different cultures and their gods in the different cultures. It's all been
mhm,
part of it. It's all been part of it.
yes, I loved archaeology when I was a kid too. I wanted to be a spy also, which is really strange.
I've had lots of dreams that I was a spy too. Yep.
So, what does Amethyst Ascension symbolize to you personally? The title, the concept, um, anything that you want to share?
Sure. So amethyst, I was a huge crystal lover. So before I did any of like tarot, I used to create jewelry.
Hmm.
So, like beautiful bead woven jewelry, bead embroidered and huge necklaces and all that. And so, a lot of also my spirituality came from learning about crystals, learning about the chakras, color association, stuff like that, that I used to do I mean, tons of years ago. Seems like umpteen
Uh-huh.
years ago. So amethyst. Again, we were thinking of a crystal,
Uh-huh.
amethyst. And of course, amethyst is also good for like clarity, right? Because
Mm.
it's supposed to, if a person has amethyst on them, it's supposed to help them from not ever getting drunk.
Hmm.
So, yes, it's supposed to bring
From
clarity.
getting drunk?
Yes, because the reason that it was named, according to like, I think it's Greek mythology,
Mm-hmm.
there was somebody that was being approached by, I think it was Dionysus. And in order to, who was it? Somebody in the chat probably knows, but who was it? Was it Diana? Was it Aphrodite? Somebody was trying to save this goddess. And so they changed her into amethyst so
Mm.
that she could not be lured by Dionysus, who was like wine and stuff like that, right? So it,
Hmm.
I'm not telling the story very well. Look it up though.
Is
So
there a
it was pretty
correlation
cool.
between maybe grapes and the color of the stone itself?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Hmm.
Yes.
Interesting.
Grapes being wine. Yeah.
Uh-huh. An amethyst. Hmm.
Yes. And so then Ascension, we were around that time we were watching a lot of like cosmic what was it? Cosmic Disclosure on Gaia. And there
Mm-hmm.
was a whole lot of stories about,
Gaia.
you know,
I was subscribed to Gaia for the
aliens.
longest time.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
I still am. I love Gaia. And I still
Mm-hmm.
watch Cosmic Disclosure, although it's not uh Corey Good anymore. It's Emery Smith. But anyways, he was talking about like the Galactic Federation and the 20 and back, and talking about how we're supposed to be ascending, and talking about like the law of one material by the Ra group, which were aliens, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Ascension, Amethyst Ascension was born. That's how.
Nice. We have also Bobby from Wild Raven Tarot. He's here visiting. My friend Bobby. Great to see you. We have Witchy Best Friend. He stopped by too, also to
Hi,
say
Jess.
hi. So it's you not
Jonathan
only
said it.
huh?
Sorry. Jonathan said it. He said amethyst was supposed to be the stone of sobriety. Yeah, and the way to free
Okay.
yourself from addiction.
Yes,
So
amethyst was supposed to be the stone of sobriety and the way to free yourself from addiction. Interesting. And back again, AA, Amethyst Ascension.
and
So,
spiritual clarity, spiritual ascension.
uh-huh.
Yes.
There you go. That's awesome. So
Awareness.
you delve into a lot of different spiritual practices, esoteric practices. Which practice has had the most transformative effect in your life?
Oh my gosh. I don't even know. All of it. It's
Uh-huh.
I, I can't answer that. It's been everything. Every everything that I've done along the way has led me to where I'm at today.
Mm-hmm.
So catalyst maybe would be like the Sylvia Brown books, religion, the paranormal experiences. It's everything. I
Mm-hmm.
can't just separate it. So
Because everything has had an influence and come at different
everything.
times that have enriched your path, if
Absolutely.
that
And
makes
it's
sense.
always changing. It's ever growing
Mm-hmm.
and evolving.
Okay. So let's go to tarot and oracles. What drew you to tarot in the beginning?
Actually, the first deck that I got was it was a goddess one. It was a Doreen Virtue goddess
Mm-hmm.
guidance. And I started using those, and I'm like, oh my gosh, these are excellent. But like I said, I had been exposed to tarot long before that,
Mm-hmm.
years and years ago. But I always thought that it was something that was not for me because I was not like, I wasn't the right person to be doing it. I never thought I was the right person, because in my head I had this image of like, and I know that this is used sometimes as derogatory, for like Romani or whatever, but I always in my head thought of Gypsy and
Mm-hmm.
I love them. Okay. So
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
derogatory coming from me. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I
Mm-hmm.
always thought that they were super cool and mystic and had all these ideas and would wear their boho clothing and had, these really cool setups. And that's what I thought of as tarot, right? Who knew? So when I got
Uh-huh.
that first Oracle deck, I was like, wow, maybe it's not, maybe it's not like what I thought. And then I was getting boxes, witchy boxes off of Cratejoy. And I think that's the name of it. And one was a tarot party night box. And I got my first tarot box there. Sorry, I was
Mm.
distracted. And got my first tarot deck. And it was a Tarot Marchetti, Easy Tarot. And I read through it, did everything that it said, and bam, I was hooked. And that's, yeah. I bought
Hmm.
a deck for my sister, the same one, and found Tarot Tube, and bam.
What was the first one?
Uh, Gilded Tarot by
Gilded
Tarot
Tarot. Did you?
Marchetti.
Okay. Did you connect with the deck right away, or?
I did, yes.
Mm-hmm.
However, the one that I really connected to, well, there was two that were really pivotal for me, that really made the difference for me with tarot. First one was Everyday Witch. I just, I don't know, something about that just, it clicked. The artwork, the book, everything. I just devoured it. And that's what I was using all the time. Also, I think it comes down to the card stack, being able to shuffle it really good, because that
Mm-hmm.
was all part of the process for me. And then Light Seers. The Light Seers just clicked for me. And then, yeah. So those are definitely like my soul decks, or
Mm-hmm.
I've had more since then, but yeah, those were pivotal for me.
That's awesome. So,
Those are early on.
mo most of the people here, I'm pretty sure. I mean, they're already experienced with decks and they have their cards, etc. But for someone who's watching, who's starting in divination, what advice would you give to someone choosing their first tarot or oracle deck?
Make sure that you are, this is just my opinion, make sure that you are gravitating to something that you really like the artwork.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm a very visually stimulated person, so that was super important to me. I would say make sure it's something that's got a good guidebook, but I mean, really, you don't need that if you get just a regular, uh, like a tarot, like 78 degrees of tarot, or
Hmm.
kitchen table tarot. There's lots of books out there that can teach you tarot that if a deck doesn't come with a guidebook. But make sure you're choosing something that you really connect with the art. Because
Hmm.
if you do, you're going to keep on going back to it and you're going to want to work with it just because you like the pretty pictures. At least that's the way it was for me. I
Yeah.
couldn't put it down because I loved it so much. So I kept working with it, and repetition is what does it. So that's what I would
It's
suggest. I don't like the
def
RWS artwork.
careful. Careful.
I'm sorry, I'm being honest. Don't shoot me over
That's
here.
I'm RWS through and through. No, but I
Oh,
I completely understand. Um that's the way you can actually, that is the way you connect with decks, that's how
yeah.
I connected with tarot, RWS. I like the Marseille style, but the minor arcana is not having images that facilitate understand the energy behind it, makes it, to me, it made it challenging, to be able to use it as a tool. I use it mostly for uh, readings related to numerology, but for
Oh,
tarot it could be a little bit challenged. Like I say, it's different seeing a six of wands than seeing just six wands. Like the energy is different. It's two totally different readings. But definitely the artwork is what keeps you, it creates that bond between the person and the
mhm.
cards. It wakes that interest, you identify with it. That's why there's infinite amount of topics and themes related to tarot for everyone, you know
Yeah.
from the most ancient look to the most futuristic and everything in between.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, have you ever created your own divination tools?
Yes.
Tell us.
Well, I have created a few things of runes, um, which I don't really use too much, honestly. I've created
Mhm.
another set that's it's runes, it's planetary glyphs, it's astrology, it's a whole table, a wooden table that's got all
Mhm.
12 houses. You throw them, they're all wood chips burned. So I've got that. Um, I've created black mirrors for divination. I've created my own pendulums. I've created my own witch boards. I'm a crafty person, and I've created a whole
Mhm.
bunch of decks. Yeah,
Wow.
so
So
yeah, a lot.
what is how many decks have you created?
Mm.
I know about the astrology one.
Maybe 25 decks, maybe more,
25.
maybe.
Do you have any accessible right there so you can show
I
us?
do. Yes, because I
Please.
figured you were going to be asking.
Of course. Let me put you on the big screen because I want everybody to see your how talented you are.
Uh-huh. Okay, so this one is the 13 sign astrology deck. And it's not in
Mhm.
order because I just did a big reading, astrology reading. So they're all mixed up. But this is the biggest deck that I know for astrology because not only do I have like all of the aspects and do they say what they are on them. Let me get past the aspects. I've got all of the different symbols for earth, air, fire, and water. I've got all the different moon phases, including the dark moon and a new moon, and they are different. Uh, like the waxing first, those moon phases. Got one for like lunar eclipse, solar eclipse, autumn equinox, spring equinox, all the houses, and these have like keywords on all of them. So these are perfectly designed to learn astrology with them. It's got all of the whoops,
Mhm.
all of the zodiac. Now, I don't do Western astrology. I do true sidereal astrology. So it also includes Ophiuchus. And then I've got like or series. I've got a bunch of asteroids in here. I've got like learning the structure. Oops, learning the structure of the wheel. So teaching people how to actually read their charts. I mean, it's a large deck. Okay. It's like 80 some cards. And that's one of them.
I need that deck.
Um,
Where can we find that deck?
make playing cards.
Okay.
Um, oh, and I didn't bring them down, but I also created two decks that are all tarot spreads. So Love of
Mm.
Spreads Oracle, the first one, and the Love of Spreads Oracle second edition. So together there's over 120 spreads. So it's a full card that has a spread on each one of them. And I have all different kinds. There's a couple of ladies in here that have them. They know about
Mhm.
all of the different spreads. Full
Yes,
moons for each of
and
them, new moons.
just posted the link to your make playing card store. So please,
Thank you, honey.
uh yes, take a look. I definitely I'm gonna swing by and check it because I love that deck. Because I've seen it before, and but now you going through it in detail. Let me put you on the big screen again.
This one's called Ask the Universe.
Mm-hmm.
So this is all yes or no questions. Each one, when you look into the uh what do you call this? The mirror or whatever, the
Mm-hmm.
come on, I'm forgetting my words here. The looking glass or whatever you want to call it.
Uh-huh.
They're all different scenes of like um just in the universe or on the earth, but they're all yes or no. No can do, don't ask. So they are like clarifying cards. It's a whole deck of them. So that's for when you really need clarification. Yes and no. So that's another one.
I like them both. I need that.
Here's another one. I got the Tail Tarot. I'm telling you, I have a lot.
Uh-huh.
I'll leave it at this
Show us.
one.
Oh my God,
This
I
is
love
AI
it.
art. I did not
Uh-huh.
make the art.
Yeah.
I purchased the art and used it. I seized the opportunity, essentially. I had the right
Mm-hmm.
to print it off. So that's what I did. And it's
No,
available
that's
on
good because
Amazon.
you curated it, you know, based
I
on the
mean,
energy of the that you wanted to put on the deck.
the deck, it was already in a deck format, everything.
Mm-hmm.
I just
I
purchased it right
love
off
it.
of Etsy.
Especially
I,
those first two. I need those.
I've also created a geomancy deck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you know what
With the
geomancy is,
geomantic,
right?
yeah, yeah, of course. With the geomantic figures, all 16.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I love
Yes.
geo. I have geomantic sticks. I've created my own sticks. I love them.
These are the backs. It's the geomancy figures deck.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's got one card to show you, like, where's the fire,
Uh-huh.
the air,
Yeah.
the
Mm-hmm.
water, and the earth in the geomancy
Yes.
figures. And then it's got 16 of the
All 16 figures.
telling you what they are. So you put
Uh-huh.
those aside. And then it's got 4 sets of the 16 geomantic
Puntio.
figures.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's 4 sets. So it's like 80 some cards in this also. I like big decks. Not
Uh-huh.
necessarily big in size, but
Mm-hmm.
big in the amount of cards. Because I don't like just shuffling like, you know, 13 cards. I like having a whole bunch. It seems like
Uh-huh.
it's more
You
of a divination when you have more to choose from. That's what it feels like
yeah,
to
yeah,
me.
you had more paths, more combinations, more possibilities that of messages, you know.
Yes.
That's amazing. I
And
want
just a
that
whole lot
too.
more. There's just a whole
Uh-huh.
lot more.
I love geomantic sticks. Always have my I have like a lot of them in different colors. I use
Those are
them all the
really
time.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Those are
And
really cool.
it's and they that divination system has been around since Middle Ages, you know. It
Long,
was the
long time.
Arabs, yeah, Arabs brought it into Europe, and it was highly used during the Middle Ages in Europe. Um
That's so freaking cool. I
in the,
swear.
yeah. So you mentioned two things earlier while you were showing the cards. You were talking about the dark moon and the new moon. For
Hmm.
people who don't know, can you share us based on your knowledge in astrology, what's the difference between both of them?
A dark moon is when there is nothing illuminated at all. So essentially, the moon is 400 times smaller or 400 times closer to the earth than what the sun is. The sun is 400 times or appears 400 times larger. So when the sun is directly behind what we would see from our vantage point on earth,
Mm-hmm.
it completely like shields. So you're not seeing the sun. All you're getting is because the sun or the moon does not rotate. So all you're
Mm-hmm.
seeing is dark. So
On
it's
the same
essentially
face.
illuminating the other side of the moon, which
Mm,
we would
okay.
consider the dark side of the moon, right?
Right.
But
Mm-hmm.
it's blocking out the light because it happens to be 400 times further away and it's 400 times smaller. So it's like perfect, which also makes me think that it's a satellite and it was put there in place. Okay. Because it's
There's a
exactly,
movie about Moonfall explores
yes.
that theory. Have you watched that movie?
Yeah.
I love that movie. And it's
So that's
greatly
when it's,
done.
yes, it's really
Mm-hmm.
cool. So that's when it is actually the dark moon, right? The new moon is when it's usually about 3% of a sliver where you can see 3% of the moon
Mm-hmm.
highlighted because it's now moving out of like the dark. Like the dark moon is like I would consider going into like the underworld. The new moon is like
Mm-hmm.
new beginnings kind of thing.
Yes, yes. There is still some element of light Very faint, right? But there's
With the
something.
new moon.
Hmm.
With the new moon.
Okay. And then you're
Yes, it's
mentioning
usually
too
3%.
Western astrology and sidereal astrology. Could you elaborate on the difference of both of them?
So sidereal, as far as I understand, and sidereal is not the same as what I practice, which is true sidereal. There is a difference. But
Hmm.
sidereal is where you take like Vedic astrology and you put it onto a wheel. Now, Vedic astrology, they do not use um, uh, Uranus, Neptune, or Pluto, and they do not recognize the 13 signs. So they don't recognize Ophiuchus. They
Hmm.
also do not take into consideration the actual size of the constellations. So essentially, in Vedic. So true sidereal, the reason it's different is because, first of all, it's actually what's in the sky.
Hmm.
There are actually 13 or 14 constellations that sit upon the ecliptic line. The ecliptic line is that imaginary line where you see the sun and the moon and all the planets where they actually rotate from our
Hmm.
vantage point on Earth. Because astrology is based on our vantage point on Earth when you're looking
Right.
up into the
Uh-huh.
skies.
Yeah, like the
So,
constellation, it's based on where we are. But if you're on
correct.
another planet, that set of stars will look different.
If you're in the southern hemisphere, it looks different.
Hmm.
If you're in a different country, it looks different. Time zones. That's why it upsets me when I hear the terminology that's used in Western astrology because they tell you, I need to know the exact time of your birth because all that is pertinent. But they're
Hmm.
still not using what's actually in the sky. So why would they need your actual time of birth? Because those are not actually the planets that you're born under, not in that configuration, not the way that
Hmm.
they're. I know this is controversial, but I'm
That's your
telling
point
you,
of view. Hmm.
well, I mean, we do have satellites. We can now see, we have the science to prove if you get like your phone and you get one of the
Like one of
astronomy
those
applications,
that you can see the
it does not
stars,
match up with
through your
Western
phone.
astrology.
Hmm.
It doesn't. So when you hear usually every month, well, the moon is in Pisces or the moon is in Sagittarius or the moon, likely that's not true. Sometimes it is, but mostly it's not.
Hmm. Yeah. And Jonathan is saying, yeah, I was in New Zealand in March and it was strange looking at the night sky, not look familiar. Yeah, definitely.
You
Because
know,
it depends on, where you are,
where you're
different
at.
point of view. And uh-huh. So
Exactly.
how does the planetary transits have an influence in your spiritual work?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
How does the planetary transits influence your spiritual work?
Honestly, in the last few months, it hasn't because I have not been following it. But when
Mm,
I am trying to do any kind of um, like big spell work or something, I do take things into consideration. Um, and sometimes I'll use like planetary squares or I'll use a planet for what its power is supposed to be. But in general, it's just about observation because I do believe that the planets have a direct bearing on our like frequencies because they are also
mhm,
frequencies, right? So I think that their placements, the way that they're talking to each other, as above, so below, also affects our temperaments. So I've heard this many times from people that have worked like in like medical fields that you can tell that it's the full moon because people start going crazy.
mhm.
You know, the emergency rooms get filled up, accidents happen, people just
That's why
lost
you
it, right?
the term lunatic, from lunar.
Exactly.
Mhm,
Exactly. So I do feel like they do talk to us. So understanding and recognizing how something could be affecting you is just like knowing thyself, just like when you pick up a tarot deck and you try to understand, well, why am I feeling like this?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that. But I also
Definitely.
look at like the chart as like a blueprint because I do believe that we chart our lives before we come into it with certain things that we want to achieve. And so I feel like it is, there's markers in the chart that actually show things.
Could you elaborate a little bit more on that?
So the South Node is something that you are very good at in a past life, something that you came into this life with really strong um, knowledge of. The North Node is something that is supposed to point you in the direction of like balancing you out, kind of like what you're supposed to be doing or the karma that you create in this life. Because just because you're so well versed in what your South Node was doesn't mean that you're still supposed to be doing that. If anything, can become over exaggerated in that and not focus on what you're supposed to be focusing on in this life, which is the North Node. So it's the balance of the two and understanding like what house it's in, what that could mean. It's just very in-depthful. Um, Things that are in your 12th house, I can see that as things that you're trying to wrap up in this lifetime. That because it is the house of like endings, right? And new
Mm-hmm.
beginnings. So it's like maybe things like a lot of the charts that I've been getting lately, they are so heavy in the 12th house with Virgo energy. Those are the ones that I'm telling you, I can see that they were witches in their past lives and that they are really coming into clearing up all these things because Virgo, it is the largest constellation on the zodiac. And so
Mm-hmm.
in Western astrology, where they say it's normally 30 days that the sun is in Virgo, in actuality, it's closer to 50 days that the sun is actually in Virgo. It is the largest
Wow.
because it is the goddess or the maiden,
Mm-hmm.
and the ecliptic line runs right down her whole body. Some of them, it might go like this through the constellation or up here, but Virgo, it goes right on down through the whole thing. So
What
there's a lot
causes
of
the
witches.
discrepancy between 30 and 50 days?
Well, Western astrology, when they were making the system, they wanted to make it easier. So they broke it all up into 30 days or
Equals.
30 degrees. Yes. But if you actually look out in the cosmos, they're not all the same size.
Mm-hmm.
The constellations are not all the same size.
Mm-hmm.
So, like Scorpio is like 12 degrees in size, which means the sun goes through it roughly and within 12 days, right? Ophiuchus, it's roughly 12, 13 days. Um, Virgo, it's like 50 days, 49, 50 days. Uh, like Leo, I think it's like 36 degrees, so 36 days. Uh, so they're just all different sizes. So it changes. It even changes what an age is. An age is not really 2,156 years because it's based on the constellation, and the
Mm-hmm.
constellations are all different sizes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And their emotion as well.
yeah,
Definitely. Do you craft birth charts?
I do birth charts. Yes,
Is it how tell us a little bit more about how do you do it, or do you use
I have software. I
a
have
software?
software.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Um, so the things that I include in my birth charts are all 12 houses, your north node, your south node, your Chiron, your part of fortune, your asteroids like Sirius, Hecate, or Hecate, however you say it,
Mm-hmm.
Persephone, um, Black Moon Lilith. I mean, they are in depthful. I have different kinds. So I will do just a regular chart, and that's about $22. And
Mm-hmm.
it's an email with um, like lines that people can use for their own exploration. Or I have another one that's about $150, and that's just a video. Probably take me because I just go by it quickly. So maybe, I don't know, 30 minutes to an hour it might take me to go through and show a chart. Or I also do, which is more expensive, a one-on-one with other people. It is more expensive, but it takes several hours to sit down and go over it with a person and see how how it shows in their childhood, their careers, their love life, like groups, social groups. I mean, everything. Like mission in life, past life stuff. It's all in there. I see it all in there.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. People in general, my perception is they find astrology to be really overwhelmed. They're fascinated by it, but they don't it's hard to grasp for a lot of people. For what advice you would give to someone who's interested in to incorporate astrology into their divination practice? Like, what's the best way to start? Where? How? What can you share looking back at your own experience starting in this knowledge?
Well, I'm probably not a good person for that because man, when I'm in, I'm all in. And I'm
Uh-huh.
like
But
tunnel
you started
vision and
somewhere,
that's
you know what?
yeah, but
You
I
started
just
somewhere, you
jump
know
right
what?
in. My advice
Uh-huh.
would be just go for it. It's always going to be intimidating until you just go for it. So get your own chart done. Start, finding out what you can about that. And once you learn about how the structure of it works, then you're going to start asking your friends, then you're going to start asking your family. So, can you get your chart done? I want to take a look at your chart and, just paying attention to like the moon. That's one, the moon cycles, how it affects you. Um, but yeah, I say just go for it. I mean, it's just like a Nike commercial. You just do it, right?
You just do it.
I, yeah, I know that it can be intimidating, but if you really want to learn it, it's just like tarot. You have to just learn it. I don't
You have to
know an
put the
easy
work
way
in.
around it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know an easy way around it.
You got to do
Yeah,
the work.
Carla says I
Yeah.
keep files on my family. We all do.
Yes, yeah.
You know,
So I was reading through your description. You have a very strong interest in mythology. What uh, goddess or god archetype speaks the most to you right now?
uh, right now, probably Lilith. Between Lilith and Hakati, um,
Hmm.
very strong goddess energy. Baphomet also. I just got my first Baphomet. I'm feeling like
Hmm.
the merging of the divine feminine and masculine, but I'm feeling like this sacred rage around divine feminine and the inequality that we have. And when I say inequality, with a lack of the divine feminine, it affects males and females, not just women.
Hmm.
I feel like it creates inequality for men and women. So I'm feeling that. So I would say Lilith and Hecate and Baphomet. Yeah, I love Thoth and Enki and Enlil and Isis and Horus and Osiris. And I like all of them.
Yeah. Could you talk a little bit more about Baphomet, that integration of the male and female energy?
I don't know a lot about Baphomet. I literally just got my first uh, statue, little one, but I don't believe that masculine and feminine energy are separate. I believe that that's a human construct. I
Mm,
believe that that's part of this 3D reality that we live in. So
mm,
when
yeah.
people say this is a, feminine trait, I think that we are conditioned from the time that we're born on this earth to believe that that's a feminine trait. I think women
Hmm.
are just as powerful as men, and men are just as powerful as women are. I don't think we're any different.
Hmm. Yeah.
I think our
Today's
society's made us that way.
yeah. Today's current depiction of, I mean, the depiction of Baphomet was explored by Ephias Levi. It
Mhm.
was in publication. He had Dogma et Rituel de la Haute Magie, Dogma and Ritual from the High Magic, and it goes into the imagery of Baphomet, and that was the inspiration for the Devil card from Tarot, based on
Oh.
Ephias Levi image of Baphomet. But yeah, but it's interesting because in the Marseille you see that combination with specifically the Devil card with, aspects of both the masculine and feminine, what we consider
Mhm.
social traits or physical traits. And, I was interested in your perception on it since you mentioned it. Um, Going further into other topics, so let's talk about dreams. Do you believe that all dreams have a deeper meaning? Are they more like reflections of our mind or tapping into a higher power that we go into when we sleep?
Uh, I wouldn't say all dreams. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, so let me put it to you this way. I was talking with Summer about this the other day. So sometimes when I fall asleep, because I don't know why this is, but I have to have noise in order to fall asleep. Okay. So I will usually put on Gaia and start like, oh, I don't know, Cosmic Disclosure or Open Minds or something like that. And I will fall asleep. So if I start dreaming about those things, then it's probably because I'm hearing it in the video and subconsciously I'm working
Mm-hmm.
through that.
Yes.
But I do believe that I have time traveled in my dreams. I do believe that I have gone into other realms. I have lucid dreams. I have past life recall from my dreams. Um, I do believe that the dreams, I've had many like uh, foretellings of future events in my dreams. But I used to keep track of my dreams religiously. I mean, marking down the date, marking down my dream. And I did that for like 5 years straight. I'm not doing it anymore right now, just because it is
Y-
so encompassing. So, but I did it for a reason so that I could look back and see when situations happened when I just thought that something was going to happen. And then when I watched it happen, I knew that that was my higher self telling me, not necessarily that I needed to do anything about it, but just to show me, listen, trust your intuition, Rochelle, because I am talking to you. So
hmm.
I do remember having a dream once with my girlfriend, and it was like her family coming in from out of town, like an intervention or something like that. And I called her up the next morning. I go, "You're not going to believe this. I had this dream, yada, yada, yada," and proceeded to tell her this dream. And I'm like 30 minutes in. She goes, "You're not going to believe this." I'm like, "What?" She goes, "My family is outside of my door right now, knocking on the door." Her whole family had come from a couple of states away for an intervention because she was refusing to talk to them on the telephone. So they came a couple of states away. And I was literally telling her about my dream. So
Wow,
yes, yes.
that's amazing.
I
How
dreamt
about
about
experience?
COVID.
Uh-huh. You want to share
I
with
knew
us
that
that?
that was coming. I had a dream that um, I was in a house with my family and a like Chinese, like the clay army came
Mm-hmm.
in. They
The
looked like that, and that
terracotta
yes,
army. Mm-hmm.
yes, they came in, and I got everyone down into the basement, and they caught me, so I like shut the door and got everyone out. They grabbed me and put me in like the center of the room, and this really tall guy came in. I mean, he was like really tall, like clay army dude, and took like this big, and it was like super long, and it was metal, like a metal straw, and just stuck it right down through the center of me, right through my heart and everything. And then another one that was really tall came up with like a liquid basin. It looked like mercury, you know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
liquid silver, and poured it down into the vein and then, or down through the tube into me. And
Wow.
I told everybody online that I knew that this was had to do with vaccinations. And then what did they call this? And I had this dream, and we were doing readings over on another lady's channel. And I don't know like how many people remember it, but it was, I told everybody that I knew that it had to do with vaccinations and that we needed to be careful of the vaccinations
Hmm.
because of liquid mercury that they put in it and all that other stuff. You know,
Interesting. Wow, that's
and six
fascinating.
months later, we found out about COVID.
And it just the imagery itself of that dream, me imagining it's just like fascinating. Just that part of like the mercury, you know, I can just imagine that liquid chromic substance, and just the imagery is like very powerful.
I had another dream
Hmm.
that my sister, I was visiting my sister, and she told me not to follow her, and I followed her anyways because you tell me not to do something, I'm going to do it, you know, whether I'm
Of
in a dream
course.
or not. And so I followed her, and she ended up in her work factory. I don't know if you remember this, Carla. And when I got there, all of a sudden these little things were down on the ground and started coming up through my feet. They were like, they looked like little lice, right? And I said, no, I can't be here because these will kill me. And it was something to the effect of, because there's too much fat in my body, they'll kill me, right? Well, come to find out, and this was also before COVID, come to find out, there was an outbreak of it at my sister's work. And I think somebody did pass away at my
Wow.
sister's work. But people that were bigger that got COVID, it was harder to get rid of because it does get in your fat cells. So I
Mm.
was lucky I never got COVID. Never got it. Nope.
Wow,
You my
that's
husband had it
amazing.
a couple of times and I never got it.
Really?
My family got it.
Wow.
No, I didn't get it. Slept in the same
Hmm.
bed with them and never got it.
Hmm. Yeah,
Mhm.
she's confirming. Yes, they did. Tell us about your experiences with astral travel, because you were talking, you mentioned it earlier.
Astral travel, from the
First of all,
time I was really little,
what is astral travel? Let's start with that. How do you define it, and then your experiences with it?
I just believe astral travel is when our spirit leaves our uh, body and goes off and explores other realms. So, yeah, that's what I would say it is. I don't know the actual terminology or anything like that. That's just how I've
Hmm.
always kind of seen it. But
Yes.
um, for me, when I was a kid, I used to have like tons of we used to call them phantasm attacks because we didn't know what they were, right? But they were sleep paralysis, and we'd get them all the time. And then when I started reading Sylvia Browne's books, she's the one that said sleep paralysis is when you're actually catching, like your body is starting to wake up or your mind is starting to wake up before your soul has emerged or your spirit has emerged back into your body. And that's why many times if you move and stuff, you'll end up with like bruises and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So I used to have them all the time. My sister used to have them all the time. My son is now having them. He's 30. He's been having them more.
Wow.
And
I
I
heard
used to
that
be
a
really
lot.
afraid of them, but after I found that out, I was never afraid anymore.
Hmm. It's amazing. So we're at 1 hour. Are you okay to chat a little bit longer?
Yes.
Of
Although
course.
this is usually when I go to bed, guys, because I'm old.
Hmm. Hey, no, you're not. No, you're not.
No, I'm old.
So, it's, let's talk about your experience with as ancestral work. How do you honor or connect with your ancestors?
Uh, Usually I would say through tarot and oracle, like doing
Hmm.
readings. Um, Usually around, not always, but usually around like October months, seasons of the witch or season of the witch, when the time is or the veil is thinner, right?
Hmm.
I have had, well, I was doing, what is the name of that book? It's one of the ancestral books. Can't remember. I've got a few of them now. I'm terrible with names. Okay, but I did about half of that. It was part of like a study when I was in Lisa Pepez's group. They were doing
Hmm.
a study on ancestral tarot, I think is what it is. So there were several different readings in that. But I also had done a review for The Beloved Dead, and with working with that deck, and there's another one that I got that has to do with like magical abilities in your ancestry and stuff like that. I really reached out to my grandma, the one that was a witch. And because she's come back to me several times in dreams with warnings and stuff also. But
You had a witch
I was,
grandma.
yeah, my mom's
Do you
mom.
want to
She was a witch.
talk a little bit more about her?
Well, a lot of the stuff that she did, I really didn't know a whole lot about when she was alive. She didn't
Hmm.
really talk about it because our family was very Christian. Even my mom, for the longest time, thought that because my grandma was working with like black candles and she'd do stuff in front of the mirrors, that she was like calling in bad stuff, like doing bad
Hmm.
things. And also because when my grandma started messing with like Ouija boards and that kind of stuff, when we lived in one of the houses that we lived in, that's when mom said that the spirit activity really kicked up, right? And
Hmm.
I remember her saying that she really, I mean, my mom was just so fear-based because she didn't understand what was going on, right? That it caused a lot of problems. So my grandma just kept things like closeted.
Hmm.
And she did have a tarot. She even told my sister that she had a good deck and a bad deck. So a dark deck and a light deck. I don't know, one that she didn't hardly ever use and another one that she used for other stuff. But she
Hmm.
never really showed that side of herself to me. And I even lived with her when I was 18 for a little bit,
Wow.
and I never seen that bit. It wasn't until after she had passed that I found out about it, a lot of it. And she has come back to, you know, in dreams with warnings about certain
Mm.
things.
Mm. Have you kept any of her decks? Were you able to hold on to that?
No, she only had
Mm.
two decks that I know of, and I never seen them. I do
Mm.
have a couple of her herbal books that she gave me, though.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Do you connect with her in your personal practice?
she's the one that I mainly have connected with. Yes.
Okay. It's
I
it
mean,
what
I
in
knew it was her. It was almost like she was sitting across the table from me while I was doing these readings. I mean, I could hear her voice and everything. It was amazing. So,
That's
yeah,
amazing. So you feel that it's a you inherited that those skills that connection with the divine through her?
honestly, I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Okay.
I can tell you that my mom has always had prophetic dreams. My
Mm-hmm.
sister has prophetic dreams. I do. I've had dreams talking about our lineage and certain abilities. I've had dreams of having, like, being able to do certain things in my dreams. Even when I found Reiki, I was meditating and all of a sudden I started feeling energy in my hands and I started bouncing this energy around. And then come to find out that was called Reiki. And that's what they do. You expand it. So I took a class on it and all that, but I was doing it before I even knew what it was.
Hmm.
And I do that in my dreams. I can see like the energy and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Awesome. Let's jump to another topic that you discuss in your bio in your channel. It's about the paranormal, the extraterrestrial, and I wanted to ask you: have you ever had any personal experience with aliens or the Anunnaki itself?
Well, I did have, you were talking about astral traveling. I don't know whether or
Hmm.
not this was an astral travel or whether or not this was a remote viewing. I think it was a remote view, and it was during a dream, but I ended up on some sort of like space station or spaceship or something. But it reminded me of like when you think of NASA and all of the big windows that they have, and then they've got like um like all the big boards with all the numbers on them and all that,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you've got
Yeah.
all the people behind like councils and stuff like that. I've clearly watched too
Like a
much Star
command
Trek, okay?
center, like a command
Yes, like
center.
that.
Uh,
Yes. But there was like two different kinds of aliens there. Um, well, I don't know if they were different kinds of aliens, but they looked like they had different markings.
mm-hmm.
They had like the same color skin, maybe a little bit more grayish. They looked like us, except for they had like mohawky hair, but the hair seemed a little bit different and it was colored. And then they had like runes and stuff, like protruding out of their skin and stuff. You know, like how you've seen like when people do
Like piercing, like
where
body
it comes out of the
modification.
skin.
Yeah,
Yes.
body
But
modification.
they had
Yeah.
it all on
Mm-hmm.
their arms and it was all over, like it was actually part of their skin. It
Hmm.
didn't look like, I mean, I don't know for sure, but some looked like they were more like red base with like the red hair, and some had more like blue hair. And when I looked out on, because it was in space, I mean, it was space, and then I seen like a red star and a blue star right next to each other. And
Hmm.
that's all I remember. They couldn't see me. No one interacted with me, but I was like standing behind like a console, like where you push buttons to do things. Like that. I was just like, oh my God, look at this. So I've had that. Now I have had a lot of the experiences where I felt like I was falling back when I was little onto the bed. You know, like the dreams where you feel like you're falling and you jerk, where
Mm-hmm.
you,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
well, I had a lot of that, especially when I was younger, where I had been like just thrown back into my bed. Now, actual experiences where I remember any like working on me or anything like that. No, nothing like that. No. My
Hmm.
sister has
Okay.
though.
Really?
And you should have her on because she's got stories.
Oh, I do want to. I do now. I want to. I definitely want to talk with everyone in the community. She'll definitely
Yes.
be a guest, and now I'm much more interested.
Yep,
Do you think that with the acceptance of spirituality, our view of the world being different, that the veil between worlds are getting much thinner?
I do. Because I believe it has to do with awareness. I believe that we, as a mass consciousness, have created this reality.
Hmm.
So the more that we become awake or ascend to a higher level of awareness, the glitch, it's starting to glitch. Like, do you ever
Hmm.
look outside sometimes and you see it like fuzzy, like little, it's hard to describe. If you've seen it, you've seen it. It's like where you can see an illusion. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
Or have you ever been walking and all of a sudden it just feels like weird because like I don't, it's almost like you shifted. As you walked, you like shifted for a second and then you were back again. Have you
Hmm.
ever
Yeah.
experienced
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Totally. Definitely. Definitely. Hmm.
So I feel like, yes, it's starting to break down as people wake up more. Yeah.
Interesting. So I know it's almost time for your bed, but I'm not gonna let you go yet. Before we just have to pause here for a second because we were talking earlier that I want to do I want to do a virtual tour of your witchy room.
It's
Everybody
so messy
loves
right
that
now.
room. Everybody loves that room. I love that room. I've been like seeing how it changes, over the longest time. And um if you can share with us your space, your sacred space, your the that world that you have there that we see through the lens. We want to have like a different view and explain to us, each part, which items are the most special to you,
Wow.
how do you use them, anything that you want to share with us. We don't want to be invasive with your privacy, but anything that you would like to share with us in that
I'm a
special
pretty
magical
open
place.
book.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Let
put you on the
me,
big screen so we have a wider field of view.
well, let me
I'm gonna
change this.
uh
Why don't you put the other one up?
yes.
And
And
I
I
will.
will
gonna remove
Hello.
this one. And
Yes. Okay. Now, is it better if I turn it?
yeah, it seems like
All right. Let me see if I can.
Oh, this is awesome.
Can I turn my camera? I don't think so. Oh, wait a minute.
Oops.
What did I do?
I think it got disconnected.
Okay. I think I'm in.
There you go.
Okay. Okay. Let me just turn it around.
You might have to mute it though.
Oh, sorry. Is that better?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So up here, that's the spirit board I was talking about that I created.
Oh, I love it.
I actually have gargoyles, dragons on all four corners or all four sides of my room. They're protectors. I've got the table of alchemical symbols up there. Tons of oils.
Wow. What's your favorite oil? Like what scent is the one that you identify the most with?
That I identify the most with? Oh my gosh. I don't know. I do love like rose and I love jasmine.
I love jasmine. I love jasmine. That's my favorite
It
one.
smells so good. So then I've got Odin over here and I've got the runes. I got Gabriel and Pythia.
Wow. Beautiful. Oh, look at that
The
amethyst.
skulls.
That's a
Yeah, it's a
geo.
really large amethyst.
Wow. That's amazing. And you have skulls. Is there what kind of stones are they?
Okay, this one is I think moss agate. I can't remember for sure. I think it's moss agate. Or no, maybe it's aventurine. No, I don't remember. This is labradorite. This is amethyst. This is red jasper.
Yes.
You
have big piece of citrine.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we go over here. These are all like my tarot, like guidebooks and stuff like that, as well as those. And then some more like tarot books. All the Season of the Witch.
Love it.
This is like my little goth corner.
Is that a
With
black
my
mirror for scrying?
Yes, I made that.
Beautiful.
Got this frame from for $5 from Walmart several years ago. And
It's
I just put
gorgeous.
the gold on it and just sprayed it black. My witch's hat. I got a couple of capes or whatever you call them. I've got like my bay leaves, and I love like star anise. It's like one of my favorite smells ever is star anise. I use it in everything. Oh my gosh, it's so strong you can smell it. And these are my shelves.
With your decks.
These are all oracles.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have some other ones down there, and those are all more herbs.
Wow.
Oh, up here, this is the top of my bookshelves.
Love the hand.
Everything. Yeah.
Beautiful.
More tarot. If I'm going too fast, let me know. It's just
Carla
like,
said
and I
it's
just
her.
got rid of about 100 decks.
Wow. Carla said it's your own metaphysical shop. It
It
is
really
true.
is.
It feels like it.
This is what my
Beautiful.
metaphysical shop would look like if I had one. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So
Look at that. Wow. Hmm.
there's more
Everything is so
stuff.
organized and coherent. Hmm.
uh, just more like witchy supplies down there. More books
Hmm.
and stuff over here. Oh, this is it's dirty. I gotta dust it, but it's
Oh,
all
you can't tell.
garnet and
Hmm.
it's massive.
Wow. We
Yeah.
can. Oh, yeah. I can tell. Amazing. Look at that. Wow. Wow.
I got the different stuff. And then this is my apothecary.
Wow. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness.
I'm just trying
Amazing.
to go slowly so you can see everything.
Yes, yes, we're capturing it. Yeah.
I mean, go move back
Okay.
so you can get a
Mm.
better.
Wow. Look at, oh
Yeah.
my goodness. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Everybody's loving this.
Got a fairy and my Buddha over there. And then, of course, this goes out to my backyard.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's it. You step back so
Wow.
you can get a
And I
better.
saw you have a telescope.
Yes. Yeah. I got to use it
Wow.
more.
Mm-hmm.
It hooks up
And
with my iPad.
that's your command center right there where you do your videos and
Yep,
wow.
exactly. That's it.
Oh my goodness. Let me connect you back to stage again. Let's see. I think I lost the other screen. Oh, you might have. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Let me get rid of this one.
Hmm.
All right. All right. Let me get back on here.
Hmm.
All right. There we go.
And everybody was saying how much they love that room. It's amazing.
Thank
We
you.
all love it. We feel so honored that we got a VIP tour of it, and it's very very inspirational. How long did it take you to get to that point?
Ah, I
It's hard to
mean,
tell, right?
years, because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the stuff that I've accumulated has been over lots of years. But the
Mm-hmm.
actual transformation, it took me mm, a month, maybe, from getting the new floors put in, painting the walls, and just, reorganizing the furniture and everything,
Mm-hmm.
setting up the desks. Yeah.
It's amazing. What's missing that you want to add?
Um, Nothing. I don't have room for anything else. You see how jammed up everything is. I just got rid of friggin' 100 decks.
You need to put things to hang, like to create new space around.
Yes. Okay. So, well, I can't show you, but up there, we could put stuff up
Uh-huh.
there. All right.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
we are at 1 hour and 20 minutes. I know it's time for your bedtime, but we can't end the show without doing our game, this or that. I will
Okay.
ask you 10 situational questions and you will choose between two tarot cards and tell us why. You ready?
Okay. Let's do it.
All right. Let's do it. Question number 1. Would you rather take a selfie at the edge of a cliff with the fool or at a wild party with the devil?
Definitely the devil. Don't even have to think about it.
Uh-huh.
I'm
Why?
not going anywhere near a cliff because I have major anxiety on, there was that one movie, Tightrope, where he's
Uh-huh.
actually you're seeing him walk from uh like the Twin Towers. I
Mm-hmm.
literally couldn't watch it because I was getting vertigo. I mean, it just scares the hell out of me. I don't know if I maybe fell to my death or something in another life, but I can't even do it. I mean, I get dizzy, I get sick. So Cliff is out of the picture.
Uh,
Devil,
devil it
I don't see
is.
the devil the same way.
Mm-hmm.
No, he really is. You think he's the adversary, but he's really a friend. He really
Mm-hmm.
is
Could
because
you
he
elaborate a
helps
little bit
us
more?
see. Well, he helps us see our darkness so that we can move beyond it. So he
Mm-hmm.
really is. He's like a trickster god, right? He's like Loki. You know,
That's an interesting way to put it. I mean,
that's how I.
it's the balance between light and darkness. I mean, we need darkness in our life. That's what creates the contrast and appreciate the light. Both sides, actually, if you think
Uh-huh.
about it. Hmm.
I call that the
All right.
shadow work card.
Mm. That's a beautiful way to put it, actually. I like that a lot.
Thank you.
Question number 2. Are you a shopaholic or a penny pincher?
Well, you tell me. Have you seen my room?
I mean, it could be
Definitely a
gifts. It could
shopaholic.
be.
Okay.
Uh, what things do you like to shop the most?
Crystals.
Uh-huh.
I mean, crystals. uh, Tarot, Oracle. I have about
Mm-hmm.
500 decks now. I did have like 600. And
Wow.
it's not the first time that I've purged them. So if that tells you
Mm-hmm.
anything, I like tarot and oracle. um,
Mm-hmm. Other than
anything
that.
really metaphysical, books,
Mm-hmm.
uh, yeah, that kind of stuff. You know, people talk about like spending too much money and stuff like that, right? On like tarot and oracle, but listen, I don't. This is TMI, but you know what? Women might get themselves new bras and new underwear all the time. No, it all goes on tarot and oracle for me. I might be walking around in heels. I'd rather spend it on tarot and oracle. Okay, just saying. New shoes,
Love it.
new shoes. I'm gonna take
Uh-huh.
tarot and oracle. So yeah,
Perfect. That's perfect. I mean, is that you're investing in your own spiritual growth, right?
hey, it makes me
Why not?
holy, right?
Love it. That's awesome. All right. Question number 3. You're in a tarot themed telenovela. What is your scandal? The lovers caught kissing both twins and their mother knows. Or judgment. You faked your own death and returned during the wedding.
Definitely judgment. How cool would that be? Just to see the faces of people when you show up again, right?
Here I
Yeah.
am with my
You
decks and my
know,
crystals.
yeah, yeah. I told my family that because my husband is an atheist, my kids are atheists. I'm like, I'm
Hmm.
gonna make you believe when I'm on the other side, I'm gonna be slapping your ass and knocking you upside your head. You'll know that's me, okay? So yeah.
You'll make them believe.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna haunt your ass, okay?
That's awesome. All right. Question number 4. Just one second. That's just question number 4. You're in a reality competition called So You Think You Can Divine? Which judge do you dread the most? The high priestess says nothing, just write things down. Or the king of swords, brutal honesty with a clicky pen and resting verdict faced.
I definitely would not like the King of Swords the most because brutal honesty, yeah. And you know what? The High Priestess, we would just be, communicating telepathically. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
no, yeah. I'd be more
So,
afraid of the guy that because his honesty, his truth is a whole lot different than somebody else's truth, right? So
uh-huh.
yeah,
And that
yeah,
clicky pen. That clicky pen, huh?
exactly. That judgy clicky pen. Yeah, yeah,
Just adds tension to the whole thing. All right.
yeah.
Question number 5. You're producing the Real Housewives of the Tarot deck. Who's always flipping tables? The Five of Wands yells, I'm not dramatic, I'm passionate. Or the Queen of Swords, cold and reads everyone's trauma at brunch.
I definitely would think that, like, pushing over the table and saying, "I'm not dramatic, I'm passionate." That's cooler. I'm sorry, I like that more. I can appreciate that more. And that would be me probably.
You think
Yeah.
so? Why?
I could see myself just totally, if it gets to that point, just losing it, just losing my shit. Okay. Yeah. All right. You're gonna call it's like, yeah, you're being like that because you're on your period. Oh yeah, really? Watch me. Right. Yeah.
Love it. All right, question number 6. You've been cast in RuPaul's Tarot Race. Which card is your runway inspiration? The star, celestial, sheer, and glowing from within. Or the devil, horns, latex, and zero apologies.
This body in latex is not gonna happen. Okay.
Why
Oh,
not?
good God. And no, hell no. Now, leather, maybe, but latex,
uh
no. Okay. It would be so hard to get off. You'd have to put powder all over your body in order to get it on and off, right? No, I'm not for that. But the idea of sheer
uh
also with this body does not sound inviting. So, no, maybe a combination of both.
Good answer. Why not? Being creative,
Yeah,
right? The both of the best of both worlds.
right.
Now, would it be sheer on top and latex on the bottom, or latex top and sheer bottom? Since we're combining it,
Well, I am holy, so
what is it? Either or.
probably sheer on the top and leather on the bottom. Yeah,
Love it. Okay.
yeah.
Perfect. All right. We found an answer.
Holy moly.
Fantastic.
These
Question
questions,
number
I
7.
swear.
Question number 7. You're cast in the lead as the lead in Tarot, the musical. Which act is your showstopper? The Hangman, Ariel, solo with dramatic lighting, or The Wheel of Fortune, rotating stage with backup dancers in zodiac masks.
Oh, good God. These questions, my goodness. Can you see me busting a move out on a no, no. With backup dancers? Mm-mm, no.
No, I could totally see you
Uh-uh.
with backup dancers.
No.
Yeah. Oh, I can
I'd
see
trip and
that.
I'd
Oh,
fall and
they carry you. They all carry you around.
oh yeah, they'd have a fun time with that, let me tell you. I want to be breaking backs and stuff, so again, it would probably be the Hanged Man.
The
Yeah.
Hangman. So you will do this for like Pink. You know, like Pink does her shows with hanging in the air, sort of. That'll be you.
I'd just be
It'll
trying to
be
keep my balance.
your stage name will be Amethyst. I love
Oh
that.
man, this thing is so damn tight.
Amethyst Ascension. You're Amethyst and you're ascending.
Exactly.
Love
All in
it.
purple, right? Yeah.
All in purple works out perfectly.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Question number 8. You're a fashion critic at the Tarot Awards Gala. Who makes the best dress list? The Chariot, high gloss armor, tailored like couture, trimmed in gold with shoulder plates and gleam like victory. Or the World, draped in a gown woven from the cosmos itself, and she walks with attitude like someone who is the soul of the party.
Definitely the World. You bring in Cosmos dressed in, yeah. I'm there for that,
Oh,
okay? I'd have
and
planets
she
hanging off of me, okay? Planets for earrings. Saturn earrings.
the whole
Yes.
constellation around.
Oh yes. Yeah. I'd be
Love
working
it,
that, let me
love
tell you. Oh yeah.
love it. Perfect. All right,
And said
question
she'd be
number
a backup
9.
dancer. Oh, thank you, ladies.
Uh, Question number 9. The universe hires you for a part-time gig. Which would you take? Uh, babysitting with the sun or zookeeper with the Wheel of Fortune?
Zookeeper.
Why?
I've seen this question many times, and I already did my stint with the kids. Okay.
You had your
I
time
love
already.
my kids, but mm-mm, no. I'd
Do
much
you have
rather
any
do it.
pets?
Yep. I got
What do
Sully
you
and
have?
Oliver. Oh, and they're not down here. 2 dogs.
2 dogs? What
And
breed
we
are
have a
they?
fish tank.
And a fish
They're
tank.
both mixes. Yeah. And a
Uh-huh.
fish
I
tank.
have a fish tank too. What do you have?
We've got a uh they're glowfish.
Glowfish. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then we've got he's like this big. And a cara. Beautiful
Uh-huh.
striped. Oh, he's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Uh-huh.
I've got videos. We've got like a sunken ship. It's a big old, like,
Mm-hmm.
what is it? A 55-gallon? So
Yes.
it's quite large in our
Oh,
living room.
I think you mentioned something like that a while ago. I think I posted a
Yes.
photo or a video of my tank because I have snails and different fish, and you
Oh,
mentioned the glowfish. Or you
yeah.
mentioned that you had a tank and something happened and you had to restart, something like that.
Oh, yes, because our power went out. So we had to go and look for a generator. That's the thing. When you have fish, man, you
Mm-hmm.
cannot have power outages.
Yes.
You gotta do
Yeah, it's
something about it.
dangerous. Mm-hmm. It's
Yeah.
dangerous.
And it's expensive. Oh my gosh, it's so
It
expensive.
is. And that's fresh water. If it's salt water, it's even much more expensive. Like saltwater fish is crazy. It's easy to mess up. And,
Um,
you know,
my daughter and them have like a 90-gallon tank of salt water with the big coral. The whole
wow.
thing is like coral and it's really cool. They've got
Really?
clownfish. Yeah, you know,
90 gallons. That's
90
amazing.
gallons.
I mean,
They've
just
got
the
another
maintenance of
one
that.
underneath of it that feeds into it. It's
Uh-huh.
like a whole system. It was super expensive.
Love it.
Freaking
Love it. I
crazy.
love fish
Yeah,
tanks.
they're
Love
so
aquatic
cool.
life. All right. And last question. Question number 10. Who really missed the mark? Fashion advice from the lovers or survival skills from the Ten of Swords?
Definitely the Ten of Swords.
Why?
Well, I mean, isn't it obvious? Look at all the swords in him. I think he's, stick a fork in me. He's done. Yeah,
It's game over.
exactly. Yeah,
Do you
he's
think
feeling
that
it.
will? Hmm. Uh, if you go deeper into it, that might be like it's the closing of a cycle, starting something new. Do you think that might be a way of surviving? Closing a cycle, starting a new one. And even though it looks this way, it might mean something else. That was me just imagining now. Possibly,
Jonathan.
right?
Jonathan is an acupuncturist, and he said he's getting a nice acupuncture treatment.
That is true. This is I
Yeah.
love it.
I mean,
So
if you think of one of the worst ways to go, getting a whole bunch of knives is just one of those, like, no, thank you. Mm-mm,
yeah,
no.
acupuncture in the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
All right.
So harsh.
Rochelle, it was amazing chatting with you today. It's something I was
Thank
looking
you.
for the longest time, and I really enjoy our conversation. I really woke up like a interest in me exploring further into astrology. I had like a basic knowledge of it, but
Yeah.
it's the way you presented it, and it really got me interested in exploring it more. And that's what I love
It's
about this show.
exciting.
Every interaction I have with people, I take something with me. It wakes up an interest on something else, and definitely sharing with you this time has brought a lot to us. Um,
Thank you
to
so
anyone
much.
who's yes, to anyone who's here, who's not subscribed to her channel, please check the link below. Subscribe to Amethyst Ascension. Her content is amazing, and I'm actually want to order a few of your decks because I'm just impressed with it. I mean, the
Oh,
astrology
thank
one
you.
just itself, yeah. And I'm going to add in the comments after the video the link to your shop, so anyone who's interested in acquiring the decks, they can go straight there
I just did this one too, the Matrix Time Oracle. So if you ever want to do like uh timing,
and put you on the big screen. Uh-huh.
this
Oh,
has
that's
like through the
beautiful.
21st century. It's
Mm-hmm.
got uh
Oh, beautiful.
like spring It's got all of the months. So if you want to get
Mm-hmm.
really detailed, it's a whole timing. There you go. Like last autumn,
Mm-hmm.
next week, January. It's it's got a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, these are the backs.
Beautiful. I
I
love
love
it.
eyes too. So yeah.
I know you enjoy everything that you do, but I know at the
I,
same time it's a lot of work. So I just wanted to say for the whole community, thank you for what you do, the content that
oh,
you
thank you.
share, the love that you put into, the videos that you share with us, the knowledge, and it we get so much from it and from you through them.
Thank
So
you.
thank you for all that you do. You're a very important voice in this community, and we always
Thank
look
you.
forward to everything that you have to share.
I just want to say something really quick. All of the like monthly things that we do, all the hosting, I really just help with like digital journals, companions, and stuff like that. But the hosts, they do everything. And that's why I love helping bring community together and sharing and showcasing other people that are brilliant in our community, right? Like right
Hmm.
now, Courtney's doing the Divine Feminine, and it's so powerful. And we've done past life work, we've done ancestry work, we've done Season of the Witch was like 3 months of just like deep diving into like
Do you want to
shadowy stuff.
explain a little bit at this workshop that you put together?
It's just a monthly thing that we do. I have
Hmm.
different people that host, because you're coming up too.
Yes. Uh-huh.
um, and it's just different topics that it's not me always coming up with the topics. It's me talking with the person and seeing what they would like to bring forth. So I help them and we talk through it, but it's really the majority of them. So like this next month, it's going to be awesome. And I mean,
What's the topic next
summer,
month?
do you want me to tell everybody?
Yeah, please.
'Cause it's summers. I mean, it's very shortly. We're going to be connecting with the Fae, right? And
Nice.
then
Uh-huh.
the following month is you. Do you want to tell everybody what you're going to be doing?
Go ahead. No, no, you tell. You tell. I want you to like share it.
It's all about the divine masculine because we have been doing the divine feminine. So we're going to be doing the divine masculine. And guess
Hmm.
what we're doing in August for mine?
What?
Alien contact. Yes.
Yay! Oh
Yes.
my
All about
God, love
alien
it.
stuff.
Love it.
Yes.
We're
And
all
I'll
looking
leave it at
forward
that,
to
but
those topics. Oh
I
my
will leave it
God.
at that. But right now, we have October and November already
Hmm.
set up with a couple of different ladies as well. So if there's something that you guys want to do, just reach out to me. This is something that I enjoy doing every month because I don't want to do it every month. I don't want to host it
Hmm.
every month. And it's a way for all of us to join in together and do these things. You know what I mean? As a
Yes.
community,
Hmm.
if you can, you don't have to, but it's an option if you want to. So it's
Yes,
fun.
I'm actually so looking forward to the talk about this topic, the divine masculine, and how it integrates with the divine feminine as well.
Hmm.
I think it's going to be so beautiful, and it's thank you for doing this as well because you're facilitating uh the community coming together and sharing topics that we all learn from. It's a growth,
Absolutely.
it's a communal growth experience. So thank you for
Absolutely. And
doing
I
that.
forgot to mention my sister too. She's doing September's and hers is palmistry.
Oh my God,
And
look
that's
at
what she
that.
does is
Love
palmistry.
it.
I know.
Those are all amazing topics. Like
I
we're all
know.
looking forward to it, definitely. And again, if anyone's here who's not subscribed to her channel, please do so you can see all these different topics being developed and all her amazing topics, all her
Thank you.
amazing content. And everybody, thank you very much for being here. Thank you for your energy, your interaction, your support. We love having you here, and we're looking forward to see you again on the next episode of In Orbit With. Until then, blessings to all and have a good night.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, everybody.